We will keep men out of women's sports. That's like a no-brainer.
And it turns out we can be very thankful that it looks like Trump broke woke. The largest retailer in the United States is dumping its diversity, equity, and inclusion charade.
Walmart is pulling back on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Why the changes?
What we're trying to do is to ensure that every customer, every associate feels welcome here to shop and to feel like they belong. And we're going to continue to make the best decisions we can that makes everyone, our customers, our associates, feel like this is an environment they can shop in and thrive in.
All right, that's a really long-winded way of saying we're listening to our consumers now who think woke is a joke.
Peace and blessings, you ugly mofos, and welcome to an episode of He Rants. I'm your host, Felix Long Trousers.
That's it.
All right, let's not waste no more time. Let's get right into this. Good afternoon, guys. We got to talk about Walmart. Not just Walmart, though, but a few other companies that seem to be affected by the election, right? Yes. It seems like Walmart has decided to roll back their DEI initiative, right? And I love it, right? I want you guys to understand. I know I'm a black guy. People are like, diversity, equity, and inclusion is supposed to help black people and other people of color and blah, blah, blah. Say, I don't think so. I think all it does is create more division, hatred throughout the community. Yes, let me explain. I honestly believe that a lot of this DEI stuff is going to make hatred like, there's going to be people of other races going to be like, did this person get this position because they actually earned it? Or is it because we're just pushing for diversity, right? Which I feel like diversity of thought is more important than diversity of skin color. Don't get me wrong. I would love more people of color to be put in positions, right, that they earned. Right? Oh, but there's so many racial biases. Yeah, I mean, there's racial biases here and there, obviously, right? But there's a lot of individuals that can crack through that racial bias and make it into positions that they have earned, right? It's simple. It's really simple, man. There's a lot of people breaking the color barrier, right? But the reality is, especially when it comes to Asians, they're people of color, but I know a lot of people are trying to push them away. Asians, when I say Asians, I'm including Indians because they are Asians. These guys are the wealthiest in the United States. You think they let color? And I've seen a lot of Indians who are as black as me, and they are succeeding, right? Oh, that's because they see themselves as white. You're just going to make any excuse in the book, right? You know what I mean? At this point, you're just going to make any excuse in the book. But Walmart looks like they have rolled back their DEI initiative because they realize it's not going to make them a lot of money. Trump got elected. It pretty much showed that maybe people aren't for the woke stuff. It seems like people are going further away from the woke stuff. This polling has showed that woke is not really in anymore. Everybody saw that 2020 was just a wild time. 2020 just got a lot of people, let's just say, emotional, right? And now they seen as time has gone by and the emotion has finally gone down. Mask has been taken down, you know what I'm saying? People are starting to realize, like, a lot of stuff that happened in 2020 kind of dumb. We didn't really have to go as far as we did. We were just inside the house thinking a lot, and we were just, just tired of just existing indoors rather than being outside and living life touching grass.
American companies and lawmakers already rolling back DEI initiatives in response to Trump's election victory. Did DEI die on November 5th?
I think it certainly did, and you're already seeing some of the consequences of this in the private sector, where several companies are sort of rolling out these plans to roll back their own DEI initiatives that they've set in place over the past few years. But of course, I think it's going to be much more difficult to tackle DEI at the root than these companies and even some Republicans may expect. And that's because this is a big money-making racket, Todd. One Harvard professor estimates that U.S. companies spend about $8 billion per year on diversity trainings alone. That does not include the very profitable DEI consultants who can charge up to six figures for their work when they go into some of these corporations. And then, of course, there's the other issue, which is that even if you get rid of DEI initiatives in some of these private companies, and even at the federal government level, you still have not tackled the root of the issue, which is higher education. These ideas did not come from nowhere. They need to be torn out root and branch from our colleges and our universities, which, by the way, are also funded by our taxpayer dollars.
But people have to understand these businesses are here to make money. They thought DEI could be a way to bring in the dinero, the dough. Once they realized we might not be making that much money off of investing in these type of things, I think it's time to pull back. I think a lot of people saw the situation happening with Bud Light, saw how much their market share dropped. Target as well, because I think I even made a video about that with this, tuck-friendly swimwear and all that BS that Target was doing. And they lost a whole lot of money and they still haven't recovered the money that they've lost, right? I think Walmart saw this and was like, you know what, man, we can't go down this route. We're trying to push ahead because I think a lot of people thought that maybe that the next generation is going to be real progressive. They're going to, we're going to be ahead of the cause when they start getting their money. When the transfer of wealth happens, they're going to be the ones who are going to want to buy this tuck-friendly swimwear and all this other woke stuff. And now, because of the election, they realize maybe the youth is not as liberal and progressive as we thought they're going to be. Maybe they're actually somewhat a little bit more conservative, or at least a lot more moderate. So maybe we should tone this back because we're seeing other companies lose money. You guys seen Jaguar, and I'm still waiting to see the numbers for Jaguar after they release that woke commercial. I'm going to see if they start rolling back some of their money. But let's listen to this guy, Mr. Starbuck, right? Starbuck, that's funny. Talk about when he spoke to some of the executives in Walmart, what he saw.
All right, y'all, I don't even know how to start this video because honestly, this is different than everything else we've done because this is the single largest employer in the United States. We are talking about a company that is worth almost $1 trillion on its own. As many of you know, I have been investigating a massive company now for a while, and I have kept my lips sealed on who it was. Now I can reveal it was Walmart, but something incredible happened in the course of my investigation. Walmart became aware of our investigation and reached out to me. This was critical and honestly turned out pretty fantastic for everybody involved, in my opinion. We were able to have frank conversations with Walmart. And as I've said for a long time, I don't ask companies to take on my political views. I am simply advocating for corporate neutrality. I believe that that is the future because I understand there are people in this country who do not agree with my politics. So it would not be fair of me to force my politics on them the same way that I am not okay with left-wing policies being forced on me and people like me via things like DEI. After various conversations, I am very proud to report to you guys that Walmart has decided on making some changes. I'm going to lay out what those changes are for you and explain how massive this is for our movement. We are unstoppable at this point with a 100% flip rate where we change corporate America and get them back to a culture of sanity and neutrality. Bullet point number 1, Walmart will be removing all inappropriate sexual and or transgender products that are marketed toward kids, things like chest binders for teenagers or books that encourage transitioning. That is all going to be gone. Bullet point number 2, Walmart is going to review and stop funding to all events that could be sexually inappropriate for kids. That includes drag queen story time or pride events that expose kids to sexually inappropriate topics. That's all going to stop going forward. Third bullet point, Walmart will be closing their racial equity center. This is a center they had committed $100 million to, and it was a 5-year project. They will be closing that center going forward. Fourth bullet point, Walmart will no longer participate in the HRC's Corporate Equality Index social credit system. This scoring system is what has brought wokeness into so many segments of corporate America, and we are happy to see them no longer participating. There is not a corporation in America that should be participating with the HRC's CEI scoring system going forward. The HRC got explicitly political in the 2024 election, working with everything they have to defeat Donald Trump and calling him every name in the book. It is time for companies to recognize that they need to move away from this system that is explicitly political and embrace corporate neutrality so that everybody is welcome in their stores. Fifth bullet point, Walmart is going to be reviewing their supplier diversity programs to ensure that nobody's receiving preferential treatment on the basis of race, and they will also ensure that financing eligibility will no longer be predicated on providing certain demographic information. Sixth bullet point, and this is a favorite for me, being Latino myself, Walmart will no longer be using the term Latinx in any of their official communications. That is going to be wiped away. I was very disappointed to see it was there, but again, this is across corporate America. So this is a company, Walmart, who is doing the right thing here, and I want to give them credit for that. Getting rid of this, big. We don't want to hear Latinx ever again. Bullet point number 7, Walmart will be discontinuing their racial equity training through the Racial Equity Institute. Again, getting rid of woke trainings. And last but not least, drumroll please for the big one, DEI. They will be discontinuing use of DEI both publicly and privately at Walmart. This is a massive win for our movement. The momentum just keeps growing. This is the largest employer in the United States, worth almost $1 trillion. Other companies are taking notice. Suppliers of Walmart are taking notice now. With Christmas right around the corner, I'm happy I could deliver you guys one retailer that will drop the woke policies. You've still got Amazon and Target acting crazy out there with wokeness, so I'm glad I could give you guys one at least. And yes, we do have our eyes on Amazon and Target. America just voted, and we voted against wokeness. We voted for sanity. We voted for corporate neutrality. We don't don't want companies funding divisive things, and Walmart is setting a great example here for other companies to turn around. It's not too late. Turn around. People are very forgiving, and we can get back to sanity together and rebuild and make this country the greatest it can possibly be. As this New York Times headline clearly illustrates, the paradigm has changed. Companies need to listen to our movement. We are powerful and growing every single day. We will not stop until we have eliminated wokeness in corporate America. If you love our work to remove wokeness from corporate America, follow me, share these videos, subscribe to my X page. It's $5 a month. It supports our research team. But please tell your friends about this, and let's keep this movement growing.
Yeah, so like I said, it's the return on investment. Walmart's probably looking at the numbers like, are we really going to make a lot from these investments? Are we really going to make that much money for it to make sense? And also, we have to ask ourselves, how many customers are we going to lose by doing these things? Because Target definitely lost customers. Target lost customers, Budweiser lost customers, and Anheuser-Busch, the parent company or whatever, that they're never going to get back, right? And you only hope that they're going to be able to get new customers. But I mean, right now, the stigma and everything, Target, it's pretty big. I mean, they might be able to get some of their customers back. But eventually, Target is going to start veering away. All these other companies like John Deere, Deere, or whatever, some of these other companies like BMW, a lot of them are like, let's stay away from all this stuff. All this weird, wonky, cuckoo stuff. Let's just push it to the side. Let's see how our money goes, right? Because you have to understand, the people who are progressives, they're such a small subsection of the United States. They're so small and minuscule, and a lot of them don't even have money. So why even push towards these guys if it doesn't even make sense? Especially when DEI, really all it does is cause division. A lot of people are just going to be upset that, hey, this person is only here for this. And DEI also, if you work in DEI, it pushes division in the sense of you're looking for problems. You're looking for, oh, wow, this is not diverse enough. Oh, there's too many white people here. Oh, there's too many of this race here. Or blah, 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 blah. It's like, you're going to be divisive. No matter, even if you don't want to, even if you start off like not being divisive, it ends up being divisive in the long run. And I feel like that's not where America needs to go, right? I think we need to go in a more fruitful, nicer path where everything is based off meritocracy. I hate saying that word, meritocracy. Merits. Let's just say merits, right? Everything is based on merit. You worked hard. You got to this position. Yeah, we're going to get as diverse as people who apply. Like, for example, I worked in a Big Four firm, accounting firm. And when I was working there, I didn't see a lot of black people, right? But I looked at the black people who were working there and I saw like, these guys worked hard to get to this position. I know that they deserve. Not to say there's not other black people that deserve to get these jobs, right? But I feel like we're playing this numbers game that we're trying to get the exact number for each demographic. Each racial group has to be this amount in a certain job. And it's just unrealistic, right? For example, if you ask a lot of black people how many of them want to be accountants, you're not going to hear a lot of them say that, right? That also plays a role why you don't see a lot of black accountants, because not a lot of them want to be accountants. It's not just, oh, because we're not allowing enough black people. No, bro, it's just, we have to look at stuff a little bit deeper. We're looking at stuff surface level, right? So I just think DEI is kind of dumb. You know, even affirmative action back in the day it made sense. Nowadays, it doesn't make as much sense. I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me, right? I know a lot of people's not going to agree with me, but I think nowadays it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just bringing in people who happen to be people of color who are less qualified than the other counterpart, right? Not saying that white people are better, but I mean, there's more of them. There's like 60% white people. So of course, if there's a whole boatload of them, there's going to be a lot of them that you're going to see as like it's qualified. But when it comes to other races and stuff like that, you're bringing in people who they're not really up to par. Like their qualifications might not be exactly like the other individuals of other races that they let in, but they're like, well, in order for us to get diverse, we're going to allow this person to come in, even though they're not up to the qualifications. Even when you see in schools, they don't have the exact GPA as these other people that we let in, but we're going to allow them in because we need more diversity. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it doesn't help because then you bring in somebody who's not qualified, they mess up, and then the stigma continues on that, hey, these people are only in here because of their race, right? And of course, there's going to be racists there in general. They're just going to be like, oh, they shouldn't have been in here in the first place. That's going to be regardless. We're never going to be able to cure racism, right? You know what I'm saying? That's just going to be a thing. But I just don't want to give more fuel to these people's arguments, right? Because once you do things like this, it gives a lot of fuel to it. And now people are looking at it as like, well, see, hey, we were right. Look at them. Look at them. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. Speak to me. I will reply to every comment. Wait, let's have a healthy debate. I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got to say. Peace and blessings, you ugly mofos. And I'm out.